What? You guys ever try to get something done and, you know, grow a third leg that's always in the way? I'm just going, I'm going, hey, I'm going to the barn, Rogue. Ow. Ow. Somebody wants to play. Is it you? Is it you? This is what I have to put up with every time I try to get to the barn. Hey, I was going to the barn. Can I go to the barn now? You can come in the barn too. Should we go to the... Hey, can we go to the barn? That's what I have to put up with going to the barn and going back to the house, which in the dark, let me tell you, when I ain't thinking about it, it's kind of scary having her come out of the dark at you. But anyhow, we're back from our trip. Just a few updates on our casualties. We picked up a bunch of new scrapes in the new windows, but they held up. And it was pretty good considering once, you know, I was laying on my side on these, which you can tell, you know, by all the mud caked in the front that I scraped it on, dragging it up the bank on one of the V-notches. I laid it over on, and that's where a lot of these big scrapes come from. There's a tree stump sticking out, and it laid right over on them. And at that point in time, I mean, you could have probably fixed winches and stuff to pull it off, but I mean, we got this to ride and not be a beauty queen. And you know, I hated to scratch them up. I kept those protective covers on it just so I wouldn't scratch them up. And then, I mean, we pretty much demolished them first trip out, but they served their purpose because nothing ever got through to the kids. You know, kept the wind out, and they worked real good and stuff. Had a few issues, like this one here lost a bolt, and this one here was loose. None of the rest of them had been loose, so I don't know if I just missed tightening those or what. I put lock nuts on them, but these bolts are just barely long enough. They don't really go clear through the Loctite part of the nut. They're nylocks, so I don't know. I'm gonna just put a little dab of Loctite on them and put some new nuts on and tighten them down and see how they work, because like I said, all the rest of them work good, but they work good. I had a couple issues with them rubbing on the paint, which I tried to sand the corners down smooth up here, and you can see that there, and a couple of the other ones were worse. So I mean, it rubbed on up there, but I mean, we picked up a bunch of new scrapes on this side anyhow. I mean, this is new, and these are new, and got one down here. That one there is a really rough one, and got some scrapes in the fender back here, but I mean, that's to be expected when you're laying on your side driving up a hill. The rock sliders picked up some dents too in them, and I also ended up with a leak in my front tire now that I didn't have before, so I gotta air that up and find out where it's leaking from, see if it's anything I can fix, or if it'll just be replace it when the tires wear down kind of thing, and just air it up every day, because it doesn't leak very fast. So, but I don't know. There, I threw some electric tape on them, and that helped. It also helped with the squeaking, which it was only just my window. It was, you can see right here where it was rubbing on the corner, and it was right here on the roll bar, and I was the only one that did it. So I threw some tape on there to quiet that up. But I'm going to get these windows cleaned up, and then see if there's anything I can do about getting some of these scratches out. I've read about a few different things. I have a regular clear plastics polish for like headlights and stuff, which I've used on the windshield, and it helped quite a bit on the windshield because it had like a it's kind of like a film on it, like a haze over the entire thing, and it took that off and made it actually, you know, a bunch better. So I'm gonna see, I can get it cleaned up and see exactly how many scratches are in it and how much of it's dirt, and see whether or not maybe that polish will take some out. And if not, I mean, I know I've read about wet sanding them and polishing it back, which that's quite a bit of work I don't really want to go into. So if I can just get them to look a little bit better without having to go through that, that would be great. The other thing I've seen is some people just use the heat gun and heat it back up, and it'll kind of self-heal. So I may try that too. We're gonna get started on that. And I also got the new, I set them in the other seat, but I got the new shocks for the back here. They're 3 inches longer, and I measured, and I don't think I'm going to have to move anything. I think there's enough, because you can see how much that shock there's already extended with it being closed. So I think that the new shock will fit in there in the stock mounting positions, and it's also about 12 pounds heavier on the spring assist, so hopefully that should be plenty to open these windows all the way up without having to push them the last little bit and get them up above my head so that I ain't running into them all the time. I like them up that high there. That makes them nice to get in and out of the buggy without, you know, randomly ducking like you're running into it. I think that's it for now. I'm going to get it cleaned up, and I'll throw on that other shock and we'll see how that works. And then I also picked up some weather stripping that is going to help with the rubbing on the paint and the squeaks and keep some more wind and rain out. So I'm gonna get started on that, and I'll bring you guys back when it gets interesting. All right, I said I'd bring you back when it got interesting, but to be honest, I don't know what you guys are going to find interesting. So I figured I'd just go ahead and show you the difference in the shocks. It won't take me long to change that out. I get a ladder set up here so you guys have a place to sit. But this is all the way up. That shock is fully extended, and this one's fully extended. And of course you can see the difference in, you know, how high they go. Which, you know, this one's close, you know, it's high enough, but I'm all the time ducking. And it doesn't go up that high by itself. You always have to push. So if it's not shoved all the way up, I hit my head on it all the time. Because, oh, there's the new shock in there in the way, but I'll open that up. And it does good, but it stops right there. And then, yeah, it's got another little bit. So I'll throw you guys up here and get this one changed out, and we'll see how much of a difference that makes. And hopefully it still closes. Oh man, you guys all right? Let's try that again. Oh, you ain't all right. What happened? Hang on. All right. Hopefully you guys are back. You took a tumble and the screen was all messed up, so try this again. I bent the legs of the tripod a little different, so hopefully it'll stay this time. Now I gotta find the wrenches. I don't know about you guys, but I spend more time looking for tools that I just had than I do actually doing most of my projects. That's hurting my noggin. So much better. It's almost too high. I suppose I could have looked around and found a different company, a different brand that might have had, but I hated to do that because I didn't want to change too many variables. Because, you know, these are rated for 22.5. These are rated for 35 pounds. And so, you know, I don't know whether or not they'd be the same across the board. Maybe these are a little weaker, you know, and if I got 35 pounders from somebody else, they'd be way too strong or something like that. So I just stuck with what I knew. And 23 is the next size they had from 20s, but I like that. That's way up there out of my way. Now I guess see whether or not it'll close. And oh yeah, perfect. Because there's even just a little bit of shock left, but that's all right because that's not completely straight up and down. It goes past center to help hold the door shut. But so it gets real close. Oh yeah, that's nice. I like that. That works how I wanted it to work. It ain't too strong, but it's strong enough. So, I mean, that went all the way up. Clear the end by itself without having to be pushed. Plus, that's a bunch of clearance. I won't have to worry about the wind accidentally taking that or anything. Oh yeah, I like that. Now I'm gonna order the same length of these, but I'm gonna get them in the 35 pounds as well. Now that I know for sure 35 pounds will handle opening those all the way up. Because I think that's the thing. I don't know what kind of quality these are. The one on the passenger side over there, it has never opened the window nearly as well. And at first I was blaming it on maybe the hinges were just a little more gritty or something, but I think it's just a little bit weaker. So, but I mean, we went from 22.5 to 35 pounds, so 12.5 pounds more. That's quite a bit of difference. So now that I know, that's what I should have got all along, but I'll order some more and I'll get the front ones changed out too, and then they'll be good. And also I have to work on some latches. That was the big thing, because going down the road, these front two, with them being curved and this big opening in the front, they would actually blow open. Especially like the first day we went riding, it was really windy, and coming back the road from Tackett over there, it kept blowing. We had to hold on to them pretty good. They kept wanting to blow open, whereas the kids they just put them over their arms just to make sure that they didn't get away from them, but they didn't even try to blow open. So I got to get some latches built before our next big ride anyhow, because there was a couple times on the trails that we were off camber and hit a bump hard enough that a couple of the windows came open just from the shake. So I don't think they would now because those new, but I mean they could, but I doubt they would now with the heavier ones. But still, I'm going to get some latches made so that way we can just hook them shut and don't have to worry about it anymore. All right, give it a try. Can you reach it?
Just barely.
Just barely?
Oh, them are stronger.
Yeah.
I can tell you ordered stronger and longer ones.
Yep. Well, the new shocks also came with longer straps. I mean, I don't know if that's long enough to be worth putting on there. You could reach it. Your sister's just as tall, so.
A little bit shorter.
A little bit. All right. Well, now I got my partner in crime here.
I ain't crying.
You ain't crying? Yeah.
I don't do any crying.
I hate cleaning windows because you never know if the marks are on the inside or the outside. So you clean the outside, then you clean the inside, and then well, I can't tell if I missed that on the inside or the outside, so you do it all over again. And so that's where we're at. I keep raising it up and lowering it. And
Can I scrape the...
no, you don't need to, not on this one, bud.
But the next time?
Yep, next time. But to get them wiped down so I could see what was dirt and what was scratches, I just used some soapy water to do the inside and the outside. And now I'm going to use, you can kind of see, I mean, they're obviously a lot better to see through, but they still got a bunch of scratches in them.
Giant scratches from
Right.
that giant one right through the middle because of that stump.
Yep. But now I'm going to use the metal or the plastic polish. It's a Meguiar's clear plastic cleaner and polish. So
What's that gonna do?
well, I'm going to see if that'll take some of the scratches out.
Okay.
So we'll give it a look. I don't know what all the camera's picking up. It might pick up more than what we see, or it might not pick up as much, but yeah, give you kind of a look to see what it looks like now. And of course, you know, plastic is not the best for windows because you always have the stress marks in it that pick up all the light and make it shine like you got astigmatism. But if these would have been glass, they'd have been busted out for sure when we flopped it over. So there's that. So I'm going to try this stuff and we'll see if there's any difference. It's pretty simple to use. Wipe on, polish off.
Wax on, wax off.
All right, I cleaned this corner here. I went over to about here and down, and I can't really tell much difference. You see any difference in it from what it was, or even the other side? Yeah. And so I did the outside twice, and then I just did a easy coat on the inside just to make sure I got all the dirt off. But it looks pretty much just like it did before. It does say, you know, that with bad heavy stuff that this stuff would work a little better with, which I guess this way you can kind of see it is much cleaner down through here. You can see that more of a haze right there. So it did take some of the haze out of it. Yeah. Get your fingers off of it, boy. Trying to show how clean it is and you're touching it all up with your grubby hands. Yeah, I know. I got to put a new bolt in there.
There's not dirt in there.
No.
But there's dirt in here.
Yeah, dirt knows. But yeah, I just noticed that I don't know if I can get it so you guys can see. Yeah, my helper's in the way now. Just right there is about where I can see it the best. There's like a clear line down through here where it's real hazy over here and cleaner over there, but with his shadow in the way, I can't really show you.
I'm gonna move in just a second.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see that or not, but I can see where I've kind of overlapped a little bit, and it's got a haze through here and it's clearer on this side. So it did make it better. It just didn't do much for these really deep scratches. But the bottle says, you know, really bad stuff that you might have to get their buffing kit, which I don't know what all. I'm assuming it's some kind of wool wheel or something. And that's why I was thinking if I had a buffer with a wool pad on it, you know, where I could work on it and maybe, you know, maybe the wool pad would cut it just a little bit, like if you was doing a cut and wax or cut and polish on a paint job. You know, the wool kind of cuts a little bit, and then you switched it up to foam for polishing. So I don't know if maybe that would help some, but I think next I'm gonna just try the heat gun, because that's the
Didn't mean to.
that's the easiest thing to go to next, and it won't. If I start sanding on it, I'm gonna have to work at it to get it polished back up so it's clear. So I'll grab the heat gun. We'll see what that does. All right, I've been using the heat gun on them, just up in this corner. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is actually quite a bit better. I mean, there's still some big ones in there, but it's taken a bunch of those little ones out. And honestly, it's the big ones, yes, they're annoying and in the way, but if you get all those little ones out, you can kind of, you know, look past the big ones. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's right here. There's a fine line. I'm trying to look in the back of the camera, but can't get it where I need it to be to, at least I can't see it. Maybe you guys can, but I was just heating this corner here, and I can tell that there's like real fine scratches right through here, and then they all stop right here on the line from where I was heating it. And as I was heating it, I could actually see them. Once I got it so hot, they started disappearing. But I have to be careful, because if you heat it too hot, it'll actually boil the water that's in the plastic, and you know, it'll ruin that section of the, there's no fixing it then after that. So, because I actually got the passenger side window over there a little bit too hot when we was trying to bend it, and it ended up with, I'll show you what it looks like when you get it too hot. And so that's why I'm trying to be real careful so that I don't get it too hot by holding it in one spot too long. But you actually get spots like this that the plastic bubbles from the water boiling out, and then, I mean, there ain't no fixing it. I guess, well, I don't know. As far as I know, there's no fixing it. It almost looks like maybe you could wet sand that back down and then buff it and get it. But that's hard to tell until you started sanding whether or not it was in the top or not. Huh. That actually looks like that piece there is cracked.
Yeah, it does.
I can't feel that on the outside. I didn't think there was any way possible you'd ever crack this stuff. Yeah, I can feel it on the inside. I wonder if that's from getting it too hot and then putting stresses on that corner there or something. I don't know. I didn't figure that stuff would ever crack, because, you know, bending it and stuff.
Great.
Oh, I'll show you, son, what I did. But this is a piece cut off the corner. So we'll put about an inch in there. See, I bent that almost in a 90, and it didn't crack.
Oh, wow. That's cool from up here.
Right. So,
Wow.
I mean, it deformed, but I mean, if I didn't break off that little bitty piece, I didn't figure I'd ever get a crack in those other pieces, especially just from a hole that I drilled. So, I'm not sure what happened there. That's the first I've seen that. And I honestly don't understand what happened, because this side, as you can tell, didn't take hardly any damage. It's just dirty, and it's got scratches from tree branches and stuff, because some of the trails were really tight, and you know, the branches stuck out and they drug across it and left those little scratches in it. But this side didn't get laid on its side like the other side did. But I can't believe That's got a crack in it and it goes right through that screw hole. Yeah. I didn't expect that to happen. So I'm not sure why it happened. Like I said, I don't know if that's from since I did overheat that corner when we was bending it. I don't know if I got that too hot and then, you know, kind of made it brittle. I can't feel it on the outside, but I could feel it on the inside. Oh, I don't know if that's something. I don't know if I should drill a little hole in it on the inside with, you know, without going clear through to keep it from cracking, or what I should do. Anybody know? Well, that's what you do in metal. If you got a crack in something, you drill a hole in it, because the round hole provides a place for the stresses to spread out versus being concentrated where it's already cracking. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's taking those little scratches out anyhow, at least. I don't know what's going on with the camera. I'll try this again. GoPro was acting funny, so I don't know whether it caught what I was doing or not, but you can see when that gets hot enough, those little scratches just go right out of there. I'm trying to see it working right around that big one. I don't think I can get those big ones out this way, but maybe I can make the rest of them light enough that it ain't so bad. I hope you guys can see that, because it's amazing to watch them just disappear. Down there you can kind of see where I haven't been yet, and then up there where the light is where I've been. And I haven't been down through here. Can't see the light very good. And then up there, that's where I've been. You can see the light's a lot better, because you can actually see the light, and now it's just all hazy. I'm going to keep working at it and hope I don't ruin anything by holding it too long in one spot, but if this works, it'll be a lot easier than sanding and buffing. That's pretty amazing. I'm pretty sure it's not going to get the real heavy ones out, but it's taken a bunch of them out around it to where, you know, you can actually see through the thing again. So I'm hoping it's picking it up for you guys, because I can't see it in the screen really whether it picks. I can just kind of tell by the light. That light's awful blurry there, and then, you know, it's a lot clearer. And of course this is the worst area on the thing. and it's making it lighter for sure in some places, because it also feels smoother. So I don't know if I keep working it, whether it'll get any better or not. But you know, it's definitely taking those light hazy ones out. You can see how hazy that is right through here, and then over here it's clear. I mean, yeah, right there's the line. So I don't know if it'll show up any better from the inside. Yeah, actually it looks better from the inside, but that might just be because there ain't no light shining on it. But yeah, I can see right here when I get back here. I can see where it's glossier right there than it is, you know, from here over. But that side there's not too bad. So I think this will be good enough. It'll be a lot better than it was. All right, guys. I've been working on this one window, and I cleaned up the front one, just kind of have a little bit of a comparison. I hope this shows up on camera, because in person it's a huge difference. I mean, that thing was just, you know, just trash. Now obviously these big scrapes are still in there, but I mean, that's a whole lot lighter there than what it was. And I think I could probably get that out of there with maybe a combination of some heat and buffing, because it's way smoother now than what it was. So I don't know if, you know, even if I heated it up and ran something, you know, across it super fine, I don't know if that'd kind of knock it off and level it out or what, but it is so much better. I mean, I cleaned this window, and so that kind of gives you an idea, at least I hope it does, if you guys can see all the streaks in it versus, you know, it's pretty clear. But it's definitely a lot better. So I'll get this one cleaned up, and I'll see about working on this one. These two are way worse than the other side. The other side just needs cleaned up mostly. They're just dirty, but I may run over it with the heat gun too, because I know they're scratched up from the tree limbs. But yeah, that's way better. And like I said, I think it could possibly have more done, but I was also getting to the point where I was getting it so hot I was worried about, you know, causing damage then. All right. And I think, you know, this is a Super ATV polycarbonate windshield, so I think I'm going to clean it up and see whether or not I can do anything for it. I don't know if you, like I said, I don't know what this camera picks up and what it doesn't. But I don't know if you can see all those super fine scratches in that or what, and I don't know if it'll do anything for that, or if that's just in the material, but we're going to give it a shot. Now I'm going to do this one here next, but looks like we got some bad weather coming, so I think I'm going to clean stuff up and move things around so I can put the truck and car in. Possible hail, high winds, so that's what I'm going to work on now.